As you know, we are from the batch of 1964. Can you all hear me? At the back, can you hear me? Can you hear me? At the back. As you know, we are all, the students who've come are from the batch of 1964. So we are here really in Nainital to celebrate our 60th anniversary of graduating from SEM. And we are really honored in the way we've been received today. And this gathering, I understand, has been put together. Thank you very much for waiting for us. But we are at the disposal of the program that's been made. And we're here to interact with you in any way you wish. Don't ask us to sing songs. But we are here largely to, for you to ask us questions. We know something about SEM as it exists today. We've been keeping track. But I'm sure you're all curious about what life is going to be after class 11 and particularly after 12. So we can share respective experiences. We have people from the defense services, we have people who've gone overseas, people from hospitality, doctors, corporate world, spiritual world, and so on, and businessmen. So we can give you a spattering of opportunities, but I think
give your name.
I would like to suggest that you ask us questions. It will be much easier for us. Because we do not know what you want to know. Is that fair?
He is Rajiv Sahai.
Is that fair?
Yes.
And we need some spokesmen, some people to say eyes and nice. Otherwise become very quiet from your side. Is that okay? College captain?
Yes, sir.
Put up your hand, is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Then will you speak on behalf of everybody and nobody else speaks?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there's some of us who've been able to come, some who've not been able to come. My name is Rajiv Sahai. I'll request there's Rajesh Khanna, Rajesh Narayan, Santosh Malhotra, Kapil,
Prem Kapil.
Brigadier retired Tejinder Singh, Vikram Mehta,
I'm the only one from overseas, if anybody wants a question from overseas.
and Dr. Vijay Sharma. As I told you, we've all been...
He forgot me, I'm Sailesh Doctor.
Sailesh Doctor. I think he's hiding the product. Custodian of a lot of artifacts of SEM. He's brought with him the medals, not the medals, what would you call them?
The house badges.
They were the house badges of our time. So we keep them on the table. Before you go out, have a look at them. Because I think if you start passing them around, they'll get lost.
No, I asked the boys, you want to pass it around, ensure that they get back to me. They said, no, you keep it.
So we can keep them perhaps here. Before you go out, you can have a look at what these house badges and house colors looked like in our time. We had a St. Paul's, St. Peter's, Petrix, and Francis. The names have changed. And Santi, you wanted to say something?
Oh, definitely.
Hello. Now, as an old student, I would like to tell you that today it's been a great honor, and Brother Jerome Manuel has made a very good arrangement for us. The staff, they have been very kind, it's very well prepared. We'll remember it for the rest of our lives. Now, just a word I would like to tell the students. I want your attention, please. Students, just a word. I want your attention. While I was here in St. Joseph, it was paradise. You know, no other school in India has these facilities that you've got in St. Joseph College. Remember, I have been to many schools, many colleges, many institutions, but St. Joseph College has the best facilities, mind you. And you are very, very lucky to be here in St. Joseph College. You know, in my last year, one thing I realized, and I always realize this point, that my father, he gave me a gift of a lifetime. to study here in St. Joseph College. You know, and education is everything. Boys who have passed out from St. Joseph College, they have reached the highest echelons of society, in the military and in politics also. So I want you all to study, because that is the main priority. If you do not study, you are nowhere in life. There is a lot of competition. Don't think that because you have studied over here in St. Joseph, you will get your admission elsewhere. No. Everywhere there is rivalry, there is competition. You have to study, and study really hard as if you are studying for the IAS. You see, there is no compromise. You've got the best teachers, you've got the best facilities. Now, last time I came here about 10 years back. Was it 10 years back, Akshay? Akshay, was it 10 years back that you were here?
Yeah, we were 50 years we did.
50.
50th review.
50th. I saw a lot of good changes in St. Joseph. And now, again, I see that this college is going up. So you are very fortunate. But please, sports is there. But what is going to count is your study and your achievement in life. Do not blame anybody that because of this I did not get into the competition. Oh, I just missed it by a mark or 2 marks. No, you are not supposed to miss. You are supposed to be perfect, mind you. The Chinese, they really are doing very well abroad, everywhere. Even they are one of the best economies today. But the children over there really study very hard. You see, there is no compromise in study. So once again, I would like to tell you, please study. And thank you, Brother Jerome. Thank you.
My name is Akshop Singh. Rajiv Sahai, who spoke to you first, he was our class topper. He got 7 points in the SC class. And he got gold cards throughout. Rather than talking too much about myself or whatever, I thought maybe we will just, while we were at SEM, what happened at SEM? So in 1953, this house system started. We weren't there, but it started just in 1953. When the house system started with St. Peter's, because I was in St. Peter's, so I took the name first. St. Francis yellow, St. Peter's was blue, St. Paul's red, and St. Patrick's green. This system was changed to your present system in 1973. Because my younger brother, he was the house captain of Tagore in 1974. The college, and these are just little facts which you may not know, just interesting little facts which I am just saying. The college anthem is based on the tune "Long Live the Pope." The same tune is there. We were the last class with only one section. From 1965 onwards, it became 2 sections or whatever. How many sections there are? Some people wanted to know, so the headmistress will tell us. In 1957, till 1957, the bogs were really stinky. There were commodes there. No, the flush bogs started in
It's okay.
1957.
Just change the angle. Just change the angle. More towards your feet.
Yes, no, sorry. So before that we had commodes. So the flush toilets were installed only in 1957. I was lucky I became a boarder in 1957. Before that I was a day scholar, so I got the bogs. Then in the lockers, we had jugs and basins. We didn't have taps. Jugs were put and basins were put. So we did our ablutions there. We were also there at that time, and it changed to, Then the uniform that we wear, the blazer, etc. It was started by Reverend Brother Morrissey in 1956, approximately. Before that, people used to wear suits only for special occasions. And the same uniform that we wear every day, the grey sweaters, the grey trousers, and white or blue shirts, not yellow, sorry. whites or blue shirts, they were introduced by Brother Fitzpatrick in 1960. Before that, we used to wear normal colored clothes. Then, the old gym, which was here, it was demolished while we were here around 1960 odd, and this new gym, the same new gym has come up, and the new water tank, which we used to call 9 pillars, which name has vanished. The entire block of where the classes are, it used to be called Noah's Ark at one time, but before our time, we never used to call it Noah's Ark. Then the railings, the SEM railings which you see, we stood around as young boys and saw them being constructed. You know, the boy, they had the iron, and they were making, we saw those spears being cast and everything installed in front of our eyes. We used to stand around while the people maneuvered the rods and all that. Then the paving of the quadrangle also took place while we were here. Earlier it was Bajiri quadrangle. Then the first field gradient was done by, approximately by Brother Morrissey in 1959 or. Before that it was rocks were jutting out of the field. But this gradient, this good gradient that you have for runoff of water and everything, and no rocks. This was done in Brother Morrissey's. So I just thought I'd tell you a few of the things that happened there. And we have, Rajiv Sahai has been in the corporate world. He was the managing director of McAlty in an Italian company. He was the managing director. He did his IIT after this. Sailesh Doctor ran his own business. Rajesh Narayan deals in cars. He's got big. Santosh Malhotra runs a whole set of school and college institutions in Kashi. Prem Kapil is also a director on the board of some companies. Tejinder Singh is a great war hero here. Brigadier Tejinder Singh. He participated in the famous Tangail paradrop in the Bangladesh war. And it had gone off, so I have taken it to. He participated in the famous Tangail paradrop in the Bangladesh war, and he can recount. So you have a war hero here, and his father, Brigadier Sucha Singh, took the surrender of the Portuguese forces in Goa, Portuguese land forces in Goa. Vikram Mehta here has emigrated to Australia, and his wife Mala, she's an Order of Australia. She has been recognized by the government Order of Australia, the Order of Australia, so you can tell her. And Dr. Vijay Sharma, his father was also a doctor, his mother was a nurse. She was a doctor also, I'm very sorry. And he's a very good dentist in Lucknow. Retired teacher also, used to teach in the medical college. Mrs. Kalpana, doctor, is here. And my son Shivraj, he was also in SEM, but he didn't pass out of here. In those he went to another school. Because in those days, SEM was only up to class 10. And my daughter-in-law, Ria. So this is all of us here. And now, anything, now it's up to you, please. Go ahead.
The routine was at 6:45. A gentle clap from one of the Christian brothers, and all the beds would be up. Even if you were sick, you got up. Then you asked permission to lie down, but you did get up. Till 7:30, we performed our ablutions. Was it 7:30, right? No. And then, right? Until 7 rather. And from 7 to 7:30, the Catholics boys, they went to chapel for a service, and we would be in the study hall performing whatever studies were left.
Homework.
Oh, what more was left?
No, homework.
Homework, okay, it was homework. Then at about 7:45, we went for our Bada Hazri, that's breakfast. 8:30 to 9 was free time. You had to move your homework to your classroom, visit the washroom, or the box as we used to call them nowadays. Thereafter 9 to 11:30 or 12:30. 11:30 were our class periods, and 11:30 to 12:30. Actually 12:15 was the lunch, and 12:30 back to classes till 3 o'clock. 3 to 3:15 was tea, and by 3:30, quarter to 4, everyone had to be on the games field. Whether you played or not, you had to change your clothes, you had to be on the field. Some did not play, but they did have to be on the field. That was no excuse. They would run, they would do something, but that was there. At 5:30, we had 2 hours for the games. We would come back to the washroom, get cleaned up, and from 6 to 7:30, we would be in the study room, everyone doing their homework. Those who were doing homework and those who had other assignments performing them. Then we went for dinner at 7:30. By the time we finished dinner and changed, it would be about 8:30. We'd report to the dormitories. At 9 o'clock, lights off. That was the routine in our days.
Can I add something?
There was one little detail Doctor didn't mention. Before the classrooms, we used to be all lined up in that corridor from the classes 4 to on both sides, and the principal would go along the rows and inspect our attire. That your shoes are clean, your tie is in place, blazer is clean. So that was a daily ritual which we had to go through. Am I right?
I would like to also mention another point, that when around 8:30 we used to be in bed in the dormitory, that half an hour we used to read Reader's Digest, any other book that was recommended, but everybody used to read, and those were the years where we got all our general knowledge. So again I would like to tell you, you have to read a lot of general knowledge, because that is going to come used to you in future.
Thank you. We'll take the next question.
So what house was dominant during your times, during games? For example, every year one or the other house wins and they are dominant in one or the other field. So during your time, which one was the dominant house?
Easy answer.
Well, I don't think it would be right for me to say that any single house was dominant. It changed from year to year or from period to period depending on what event we were talking about. Because in our time we had athletics, we had football, cricket, hockey, we had gymnastics, we had boxing. So, each of these, and swimming, we had sculls, we had rowing as well. So each of these had their own kind of expertise, and students would come and go. So would I be right in saying that it varied?
It varied, but St. Francis, that is the yellow house, was the cock house, what they say.
A couple of years, yes.
Yeah, so as I said, for a couple of years there was dominance of a certain house, and in our time it was St. Francis.
Yellow.
The yellow. What is yellow today?
It's the Neros.
So there you are. Okay. Next one.
So is any one of you from the cabinet of that very year, the captains that were appointed that year?
Well, we have two prefects a year. In our time, we had 4 house captains and 2 prefects. So 2 prefects a year, myself and Sailesh. He's the best man of 64.
How many day scholars do you have, and how many boarders do you have?
In the school.
In this, what is their percentage?
So the total strength is somewhere around 1100, out of which 250 are boarders.
Alright. And the rest are day scholars.
Yes, sir.
In our time, our class of maybe a 35,
30.
35, whatever, maximum 30. 5 of us used to be day scholars maximum. And 2 of my batch, one is Vijay, Dr. Vijay, one is myself. And we used to be coming up every day. And these blighters used to be here only. And so that year, in 64, I just made it as a best man, otherwise it was very difficult. So it was the first time a day scholar became a sports champion. But here I think now it will be the other way around. You have more day scholars and less boarders or something like that.
We had a total of around 300 students.
Since you look at statistics, I think the number of boarders has not changed from our time because that's limited to the living space. So if you look at the percentages, we had about 300 and odd students in our time, of which 250 were boarders, plus minus. That number remains the same. So the day scholars has added to the strength of the school. And how many sections do you have now in each class?
So we have 2 sections in each class.
How many in each section?
It varies from the junior section to the senior section. Till class 10, there are up to 40-50 students in each class.
And then 11 and 12?
11 and 12 is divided according to the streams, commerce and humanities in section B and sciences in the A section. So it happens to be somewhere in a ratio of 3:1.
Which is the 3?
The commerce and humanities section.
Okay, really? Okay. That's interesting.
Get ready with the next question, please.
You know, everybody's talking about the lives over here. The only thing I remember as a boarder was we were always hungry. In fact, my first letter to my mother, she kept it. I said we get morning tea, breakfast, lunch, evening tea and dinner, and they don't give us anything else and they're starving us. So after 5 meals, our main attraction was we used to go to town, and at that time the flats were a bit different. And the first thing we used to have, we had 5 rupees or 7 rupees in our pocket, and we used to go to the end of the flats, and whatever we could eat, we would eat. So food was the main thing for our boarders. Studies were happening, but if we got, and we used to have tuck boxes, which I presume you also have now. But whenever somebody came in with a tuck box, he was a best friend for a while. And I had a lock on my tuck box, and believe me, the lock lasted only 1 day. When I came the next day, the whole box was empty. So I don't know about you guys, but we were always hungry.
Gentlemen, we have another 20 minutes. As Radha says, that's when you have another schedule. So, fire away.
So one thing that resonates with all the XMIs that we meet is caning from the brothers. So sir, anything you want to comment about the word caning during your times?
In our time, caning was permitted. Not just caning, we were punished by using scales. The teacher would use scales on our hands, cold hands, and various other ways, gentle knuckles on the scalp, which was sometimes not so gentle. And I believe that is quite a debate these days about, caning, no caning, discipline, how to get discipline, etc. But I think in this context, one has to recognize that the world has changed. Okay, it's not just SEM, the world has changed. It's become, I would say, more difficult for teachers to maintain discipline. But in this light, I want to just mention something which resonates with a lot of us, resonates with me a lot, and I want this to resonate with you. So just bear with me for a few minutes. It is linked to your question of caning. Okay, I don't know why you raised it. But whether it's caning or slapping or any form of physical punishment, it taught us things. We don't resent it. Honestly, we still don't resent it.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate the fact that it taught us something because it was given not for no rhyme or reason. It was given for a purpose. And caned once meant you were fixed for life. You would never do that again. So having said that, you see, you must recognize that we guys are in our mid-70s. Am I right?
Minimum is 75.
Middle to late 70s. You're sort of getting on. And majority of you, or many of you, are as old or younger than some of our grandchildren. Now, we have seen ourselves growing up. We've brought up our children. We've seen the changes in their schooling and education system. And now we see that big difference between ourselves and the schooling system and the outside education system that exists not only in India, not only in it's across the world. I'm sorry to say that children today of your ages, many of them feel that they're entitled. You understand what I'm saying? We came to schools like SEM as a God's gift. Today the children believe that, it's their right to be sent to a good school.
That they are the gift.
I beg your pardon?
They believe that they are the gift to the school.
Well, that's a teacher's perception, but I'm just saying, I'm talking to you as a grandfather and a parent's perception. So, okay, there are various schools of thought. The only strain I will leave with you, please, is to remember that you are here for a purpose. Whether it's to study, whether it's to get an all-round education, it's a matter of personal kind of development. But never for a moment feel entitled to what you're getting here. This is the time in school, in high school particularly, and in what you're going to be heading for college. This is the time to really learn to work hard. Whether it's studies, whether it's on field, you learn teamwork, you learn discipline. If you don't learn it now, believe you me, you'll never learn it. You just go off the rails. If you don't learn what it is to respect, if you don't respect your teachers, chances are that you never respected your parents. You never respected your elders. If you don't respect authority here, you never want to respect authority when you start working. You'll have great difficulty. So you have to navigate the current scenario of the way of disciplining in a manner that it is best for you and best for the students, best for the teachers, best for the school. I remember watching a TV panel discussion. You've all heard of Kapil Dev, cricketer? You've all heard of Serena Mirza, who's a tennis player? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
There were two panelists and motivation was being discussed. You all understand what motivation is? Now, Serena Mirza comes from a generation which is different to Kapil Dev. Kapil Dev comes from a Hindi-speaking background in Punjab, and he's learned English as he's gone along. Serena Mirza is of a different caliber. And when she was spoken to about motivation, she gave the conventional answer of motivation, corporate motivation, and blah, 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 blah. When it came to Kapil Dev, he said something very simply. भाई हमारे ज़माने में motivation was very simple. एक थप्पड़ मिलता था, and we got motivated. So you see that there is a change. I'm not for capital punishment. I'm not against capital punishment. We have to navigate our lives within the framework of where we live. But for God's sake, I request you, I plead with you guys, don't feel you are entitled. If you think you are just entitled to this education, you will pass it by, waste most of your time, and miss the essence of what this good, excellent institution is giving you and can give you.
Yes, sir.
And now you know I gave this long-winded kind of a response to your simple question of caning.
Yes, sir, understood.
Okay, we'll take the next one, just because of shortage of time. I'm sure my colleagues would like to say something.
One more question I have is about the inter-school rivalries that we have at this moment. Were there inter-school rivalries at your times also? For example, SEM versus Sherwood?
Absolutely, absolutely. And they're a tremendous thing because rivalry and all is a must. You know, it brings competition out. Who would like to comment on that? Tejinder? Yeah. Yeah, the sport army guy. He's talking about rivalry at national level, so you bring it down to rivalry at school level.
During our time, the rivalry while we were in school was totally intense. Sherwood was the enemy. And whatever team finally played against Sherwood was the annual team. After we got into life, when I got into the army, some of my very, very best friends are from the Sherwood College. You will find in life that your interests after school become very common because ultimately you are doing what you want to do to be best. So while you're in school, while you're totally at logger ends with the Sherwoodians, they are just another element of your life as you go on later on.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sir, is there any special moment that you remember about your school time?
Oh, I'm sure we all have many. Who's not spoken? Vijay? Anybody like to take that?
See, I don't know what the pattern is now, but we used to go back for 3 months, excuse me, every year. I think around towards the end of December till the start of March. And the thing that resonates with me as a special moment was when we left for the last time. It sort of it was a very sad moment, and we were okay, but we had boys who were crying, and I never imagined that somebody would cry when they're leaving school, and that was at the end of our tenure. So enjoy what you're doing, because this is never going to come back to you. And what you're going through at this point in time is a very easy part of your life. The hard part is yet to come. So make the best of it, and I'm sure on the last day you will feel that you have left something which you're never going to get back again. So my special moment probably all the time was when I left it for the last time in '64, December. And when I think back and I said, oh no, I wish I could have that again. That's it.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sir, I wanted to ask, if you could change one thing from your school life, what would it be?
Anybody want to answer that? Anybody? Well, I think we're all in agreement on this one because we're all saying nothing.
This was paradise.
I think the school life we had was very unique. The value systems we learned, the teamwork we learned, the rivalries we learned. Please remember, as Tejinder just said, rivalries also bring friendships. We're not out to kill each other here. We're just out to fight the good fight. So there's nothing that we'd like to change.
And we had the best teachers in the world. We had the very best. As a matter of fact, our teachers worked harder for us to do well than we ourselves did.
I'd just like to emphasize that already something has been mentioned, that discipline is the basis, that's the crux of your success in your life. If you're not disciplined, you'll not achieve anything. And discipline is something self. You have to self, it shouldn't come out from outside. You have to discipline yourself. Then only, and if you respect your teachers, then only you will be able to be disciplined. Teachers are your best guide for you to succeed in life. And the other thing is, lead a useful life. It's not just living. Lead a useful life. Be kind. Be helpful to your people around you, those who need. That is life. It's not only living for yourself. And your motto, as Rajiv just mentioned, your motto speaks that you have to live up to that motto. Fight the good fight. Fight the good fight doesn't mean you're going to box around or anything. Fight the good fight means gracefulness. You have to be humble and support truth. You have to support truth. Then you will be successful. It will be hard. But you will have to keep this motto in mind. I have been motivated by this motto, fight the good fight. It's a unique thing. You'll never get it anywhere else. And whatever little I have done in my life is I owe it to this college.
You know, we're talking of Latin and mottos. We've all seen what our school motto is, but I also had the opportunity of sending my son to another school where the motto was honor non-honors, which is go for the honor and not for the honors.
Not for the reward. Honor non-honors.
You may not realize it, but you guys are the future of the country. We didn't realize it also when we were in your place. As you go along, many of you are going to be path breakers. Many of you are going to be leaders. Many of you are going to be people who change the country. Just remember that. You have a lot of future to go. And right now you don't realize it, because right now you're concentrating on school life. But when you get out of here, just remember you're the future of the country. God bless you guys.
I think we have time for another 2 questions.
Question.
So I wanted to ask, what was the notorious thing that you did in your time?
That we got to keep it secret. Some things have to be kept secret.
Yeah, I think so, because I would not like to comment in that area. Alright. Because whatever notorious things we did, there was a way to fix it. And what was considered notorious in our time, the value systems have been changing. But whatever borders were given to us in terms of discipline, anything that went outside of that was obviously considered not good. So live within your own boundaries. Just consider anything outside of that. Consider anything outside of that as notorious. So it's a matter of degree.
Rajiv, may I add just a point over here?
Yeah.
See, being an all-boys school, the only notorious thing was to see what we could get and go down the Ramli or to All Saints and see what we could do and teach the girls. So it was being an all-boys school, the only interest was on the other side of the road.
It's the same even now, I think.
It's a part of growing up.
I think that's a part, as I
It
said.
should be sporting, it should be decent. That's very important.
See, in our time, our batch was the first batch where socials with girls from St. Mary's were officially allowed. Their batch would come here and we would interact in a certain way which was predefined. There were games made which were predefined, etc. As I said, boundaries have changed, so you have to set your own standards. I don't know whether we've satisfied your question, but as I said, no, there's no like for like today. So there's no point in talking about. I may ask you what is it that you've done which is notorious.
We talk to you off the record.
Basically, whatever rules are there for you to keep, please stay within them, because as has been repeatedly pointed out, if you don't have that discipline to stay within the rules of school. Any rule you will face in life. You say, why then should I have to maintain my behavior within those rules? Last question, please. Mr. Rama, last question. You have 1:45. I believe there's some other program planned either for you guys or in this auditorium at 1:45.
All the students, I would like to thank you all for taking out your precious time and telling us your experiences at SEM and telling us the difference between right and wrong. And we are very much sure that we all will implement your experiences as we grow up as the future citizens of our country as well as global citizens. Thank you very much, sir. And I would not forget to mention that 60 years is really a long time in comparison to our ages who are seated here. You are even elder to the teachers that we are learning from. So indeed it was a very special experience for all of us. Thank you very much, sir. Good afternoon.
Thank you.